NASCAR's finest are buckled up and ready as we go trackside for the command.
And here to give the command to set today's Dodge Dealers 400 field into motion is the chairman and CEO of Chrysler LLC, Mr. Bob Nardelli.
NASCAR fans, join me in our 2,500 Dodge dealers and our 80,000 employees for the 4 greatest words in sporting today. Gentlemen, start your engines!
Pal, you got a good race car, right?
Engines have fired. Let's take a look at our starting grid, and Jimmy Johnson picks up his second pole in the last 3 events. His second pole in 2007. He will lead him down. He is flanked by impressive rookie Juan Pablo Montoya, who will start on the front row for the 3rd time this year. Now, while you watch to see where your favorite driver is starting, let's visit with our in-race reporter, the driver of the Office Depot Ford, Carl Edwards, who will start back in 15th position today.
Hey, Carl Edwards, Rusty Wallace, ESPN. You got us?
Clear, Rusty.
Hey, Carl, man, you've been the best in all these concrete tracks this year, but what's going through your mind right now as you get ready to start this race today, especially with the car tomorrow?
The biggest thing, Rusty, is just the fact that it's 400 laps, and you know, even though practice was great in this Office Depot Fusion, the front grip has been a huge issue. So that's the biggest thing to me, is just making it through those long runs and keeping the car turning. And Bob Osborne and the guys have got a lot of work ahead of them, you know, to make sure this thing stays good in the center of the corner.
Hey, Carl, yesterday in the Busch Series race, there was a lot of accidents off of turn 4. That seemed to be the corner that was causing everything. Has that got you concerned any at all today?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, running too wide with these cars, Rusty, is harder than running too wide with the Busch cars. You know, the guys are all really good, but turn 4 does narrow up. I mean, you know how it is here. It slings you right to the wall. So, heck, man, we'll just hopefully not get caught up in any of that. We'll be good.
All right, buddy. Thanks for talking to us. We'll check you later.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Rusty. Have a good broadcast.
The man who will call the shots for Carl Edwards today is crew chief Bob Osborne. Let's talk with him.
Hey, Bob. Andy Petrie up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Andy. How you doing, man?
Hey, pretty good. Hey, word in the garage area is that you guys have one of the cars to beat today. How do you think you're going to stack up?
Oh, we'll see. I think we had a pretty decent car. It is a long race. We'll have to see how the track changes for us and if we can keep up with it or not.
10-4, Bob. You guys have a nice race.
Sir, enjoy yourself.
Bob Osborne knows that his driver is really good on concrete surfaces. Of Carl Edwards' 6 combined NASCAR wins this year, 5 have come on the concrete. He finished 3rd here in the spring, ran awfully well in the Busch race yesterday. Look for Carl Edwards to be a factor early on today. Back in just a moment. Welcome back to Dover to update you on some of the stories we'll be following today. Let's hear from 4 of the best pit reporters in the business. First, here's Mike Massaro.
Thanks, Doc. You know, this is the Monster Mile, and for Tony Stewart, his statistics here are rather, well, scary, both for the competition and for him. At the beginning of his career, he rattled off 12 consecutive finishes of 11th or better, including 2 victories. But recently, the Monster Mile has not been so kind. In his last 3 races here, he's been 25th or worse, including 2 DNFs. And as he starts 28th today, the looming question is, will he be able to rekindle his magic of the past, or will recent history repeat itself? Jamie?
Well, Mike, his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate Denny Hamlin kicked off yesterday with a trip to the infield medical center. He had symptoms of the flu. He got IVs in his arms, got some fluids pumped into his system in order to race the Busch Series last night. Even though he didn't feel well, he dominated the race, bringing home the victory last night. He said he went straight to the medical center, got more fluids last night, and felt so great. He ran 3.5 miles and woke up this morning. He said, I feel great. I'm ready to go out there today, but what's even better, Dave? He said he has the car to beat today.
Jamie, we've talked all weekend about picking up spots on pit road, but how does a crew get ready to make sure they're ready to go when their guy comes down pit road? Rick Machinsky, the gas man, he's got to think not only about that 83-pound gas can, he might have a wrench in his hand to do an adjustment on the left side of the car. Craig Pope is getting the jack ready right now. He's working on upper body strength in between pit stops, making sure that one pump raises the car to the desired height so they can do the pit stop. And Jake Seminara, one of the tire changers, he might be down here on the practice hub, hitting the pattern is what they call it, just to make sure that his hand-eye coordination are ready. He'll have to take off 10 and put on 10 lug nuts every 4 tire stop. They've got to be ready on this narrow pit road. Alan?
Well, Dave, in this race 1 year ago, 5 of the then 10 drivers in the championship chase had problems. They ranged from pit road penalties to flat tires, from blown engines to crashes. This racetrack is tough. It's tough on cars, it's tough on parts, it's tough on drivers, it's tough on crews, and trouble is easy to find. Avoiding that trouble today is key to the 12 drivers chasing the championship in race 2 of 10. Doc?
Thanks, guys. We'll be covering all that's going to happen with 8 high-definition onboard cameras. Clint Boyer in the 07 starts 42nd, the DirecTV Chevrolet. Casey Kane starts 14th in his Dodge. Denny Hamlin starts 3rd in the FedEx Chevy. Jeff Burton starts 36th in the AT&T Chevrolet. Michael Waltrip 43rd, the Napa Auto Parts Toyota. Jeff Green 34th, the Best Buy Chevrolet. Tony Raines 20th, the Texas Instruments DLP Chevy. Carl Edwards 15th. You heard from him on the Office Depot Ford. And, of course, those 8 drivers carrying high-definition onboard cameras getting set for 400 laps, 400 miles here. The Monster Mile at Dover, Delaware. Over 130,000 fans have jammed their way into the racetrack. It's halfway between Baltimore and Philadelphia here on the Delmarva Peninsula. Dover, Delaware, stop number 2 of 10 on the 2007 race for the NASCAR Nextel Cup. Field number 43 comes down to the green flag as Jimmie Johnson leads him down. Denny Hamlin dives beneath the 42 car. You heard about, he said he had a really good car today. He takes a 2nd spot. Here comes the 1 car who won back in the spring. Martin Truex taking 3rd position away.
Boy, and Hamlin gets the 48 car Jimmie Johnson loose, and Johnson up the racetrack. Hamlin underneath. Guys, he must not be feeling too bad right now. Back in his old form like he was yesterday.
Track's real dirty from just getting started here, and a lot of dust and stuff. These guys got to just kind of take it easy and tiptoe, but these top 2 guys are racing hard.
Well, guys, you're right. You saw how the track was just showing up a lot of dust. That makes the cars really loose right now. And right now they're too wide getting in the corner. Here comes Kevin Harvick on the inside. Montoya's fading, though. Montoya's getting to the back of the pack. It's like no grip right there. Problems on that car right now.
I talked to his guys in the garage this morning, and they said that they got just a great lap in qualifying, but they didn't have as good a hose for their car in the race as they did for their qualifying lap. So they're going to be sorting this thing out all day.
Well, right now he needs to get to the bottom of the racetrack. He gets up top, he's just going to get his doors blowed off, so to speak. Because right now, early in the running, the bottom lane is the quickest.
He gets it down on the bottom right here. Looks like his car is going to sort out here. These guys are just trying to figure out what they've got.
Single file up front. They are too wide, about back for about 10th or 11th position. Denny Hamlin has taken the lead. You talked about how he dominated here in the NASCAR Busch Series race yesterday, leading 138 laps of 200.
Yeah, they are side by side, slipping and sliding right now, just trying to get the heat up on those tires, trying to get the tire pressure built up. You see Tony Stewart there working the inside groove right behind Johnny Sauter in that 70 car. It's like Tony just doesn't have the car going early right yet.
6th position, the 17 car. Matt Kenseth going beneath the 10 of Scott Briggs.
Kenseth, he was 2nd in practice yesterday, so I expect good things out of Matt today. He's got a good fast car, and he's always good here at Dover.
I heard these Rouse cars, all of them were good in practice yesterday. Talking to those crew chiefs down there, they said all the Rouse cars as a whole were going to be good today.
Well, this particular car, the 17 car, Matt Kenseth's, guys, he can work the bottom of the track, the middle of the track, and I talked to Matt. He said, hey, Rusty, we've got a good car, but this car was one of the cars we used to get set up on our brand new 7-post pull-down machine. They've been doing a lot of work with that. Looks like it's paying off right now.
I was talking to Greg Biffle last night and talking about these Roush guys. He said the engineers are basically setting cars up for them on these 7-post rigs. They don't really have these seat-of-the-pants changes that they used to make. They have to make these changes based on engineering.
Back in the pack, 19th and 20th position. You see the 5 car of Kyle Busch. He's a chaser trying to get up beneath the 78 of Joe Nemechek, and behind him is Jeff Gordon, the 4-time winner here. Remember, Gordon started way back in 27th position.
Well, I don't expect him to stay there very long, Jerry. He's another guy that was fast in practice. And there he goes, Matt Kenseth, around the 29 car of Kevin Harvick to take over that 5th place.
Matt Kenseth won here in the spring of 2006. He started back in 19th and did much like he's doing right now. Just sailed by cars one by one on his way to the front. With more, Matt Kenseth.
Guys, Matt Kenseth wasn't too happy with this car yesterday, but I talked to he and Robbie Reiser. They said they're actually getting this car to turn better, which has been the problem with the COT across the board. But they really feel like it's paying off. And last night, guys, Matt Kenseth, great run, finished 3rd, and he's pretty confident in his car today.
For 11th position, you see Dale Earnhardt Jr. there in the 8 car. It'll be the 88 next year, 43. Bobby Labonte, former winner here, making his 500th consecutive start.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. right now, here's a guy that's, look, he's out of the chase for the championship, and all he wants to do is end this year on a high note, go out and win races. That's his goal. He needs to drive hard like he did trying to get in the chase right now. Say, heck with it. Let's just get the wins. That's his #1 goal.
There's Casey Kane right in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Remember how well he ran at Bristol. He led the most laps there. This is a very similar track to Bristol, so look for this guy to be good.
Well, a lot of guys, Andy, call this racetrack the sister track of Bristol because they're both concrete. This is a lot bigger, and some of the guys actually label their cars concrete cars.
How about the fact that the sponsor on the 8 car will be jumping over to sponsor the 9 car next year?
Let's hope it doesn't swap over right there. They're getting pretty close coming off turn 4.
I'll tell you, Junior's got a good car right now. He's when you can stick to the bottom of the racetrack early in the run like this and stay there, that's what you got to do. Crash!
Heavy contact, the 70 car. You talk about how hard you can hit here at Dover. There's a prime example.
Now, man, you heard him say he got dumped. He got hit in the back, evidently, or something happened there. Hate to see that for Johnny. He's had some good runs going on. I remember that great run he had at Richmond. Man, he was so good there. It was just unreal. At the end like this, tough deal.
They've had some really good races with this car.
Can't even drive it back there.
It's too bad for Johnny.
Had his career best finish just a couple of weeks ago at Richmond. You talked about the night there under the lights on the 3/4 mile. Let's see what happens to Johnny's car, number 70. Talked about some contact from behind, and there it is.
Yeah, it looks like the 38 car, David Gillian, might have gotten the back of him. Johnny said he got contact, got hit. That was the car behind him. But, you know, that is such a tight corner. We saw all the problems yesterday in the Busch Series race coming off of turn 4. And we talked to Carl Edwards, our race reporter. He agreed. He said, that's the corner we got to watch.
And you see how this track just funnels down to that inside wall. You spin here, you got nowhere to go. You got to hit something, either the outside wall or the inside wall. We see here where Johnny hits the inside wall.
Andy, 9 degrees banking in his front straightaway in the back. So everything on this track is banked. So everything goes to the bottom.
Caution number 1 coming out on lap 12 here at Dover, Delaware. Back with more after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.